patterning a Grog-inspired dress from Vox Machina. This is my original design based on Grog from Critical Role's Vox Machina.
I would like to relax.
Using some muslin, which is just like cheap type of cotton, patterning this on my mannequin. Even though my mannequin is not the same size as I am, it is the easiest way to get the general shape, and then I can fit it to myself later. I started patterning in some princess seams from the armhole down into the waistline, attempting to do it as evenly on either side as possible. Since it isn't an asymmetrical design, it makes it a bit harder, but we tried. I'm trying to recreate armhole princess darts on the back as well, but it's a little bit more difficult since there's not as much curve. It makes it a little bit more difficult. Once I have all my seams done, with a pencil I traced out all the seam lines, which is the side seam, the center back, and I started shaping the armhole and the front and back necklines. After removing it from the mannequin, using my curved ruler and straight ruler, I made my lines much more crisp and uniform. I'm also making sure the intersection of the side seam and the armhole, as well as the shoulder seam and the armhole on both sides and front and back, are square so that it is one continuous line when it's sewn together. This helps a lot with creating the proper shape for bust lines and armholes. It took me a long time to realize that, but it's very helpful, it turns out. I then added 1/2-inch seam allowances around the whole thing and sewed it up. I then put it on and pinned up the center back. Since this piece is a bit weird, I started with making sure it fit tight around the neckline. I took in maybe like 1/2 inch at the princess seam on the strapless side just to make sure it was snug, and then I wasn't happy with the shape of it. I thought it should cover more of the bust, so I just stuck a piece of extra muslin and pinned it to the rest of the fabric and just redrew the shape. Changing that piece made the rest of the neckline look a little weird, so I changed the shape of the other side of the neckline to be a bit more curved. I then remarked where I had marked the paneling for the shoulder to fit myself better. This was hard since it's hard to see my own back, but it got done. I then marked the approximate length I wanted the finished top to be, because the bodice itself was much longer than I wanted it. And since I cut the length to be shorter, that brought up a problem of having too much space in the bottom of the bodice now. So I just went in and pinned it all tight. I then quickly marked all the alterations in pencil and crisped up the lines the same way I did before. Next, I'll be making the final dress. Subscribe if you want to see that, and leave a like. And if you're watching this later, the link is in the description. Okay, bye.